Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to this week's Gift of Healing TV. It's 7:30 in the morning here in the UK, and for my guest, I believe it is 4:30 in the afternoon in Australia. I'm delighted to welcome Felicity Parker, who's going to be sharing the importance of stretching for joint health. And this is very physical, so I hope you're ready to join in with this, folks. I really do, because I'm going to join in as best I can from my swizzle round chair. But this I'm really looking forward to. Felicity is 43 and lives in Australia. She is a certified massage therapist, a qualified personal trainer, and a certified health and wellness coach. She is passionate about what she does and all aspects of living in a healthy, holistic lifestyle. It is through this lifestyle that she's been blessed to beat breast cancer and continue to live a healthy, active lifestyle. Felicity has competed successfully in bodybuilding, in the bodybuilding industry, and loves to inspire other women to stand up for what they want. She is a vibrant woman with a passion for seeing others conquer their goals and understands that everybody's journey is their own. She believes that we are all connected and we are all here to support one another, teach and learn from each other, as we all have our own precious gifts to share. Amen to that. Felicity, welcome to the program, and thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I feel extremely blessed to be able to be on Gift of Healing TV. So thank you very much, and that was such a lovely welcome.
Well, thank you for joining us. And I know we've got Malathi with us. Malathi lives in Sri Lanka, so she's one of our regulars, and it's a much better time for her this time of the day than our usual evening program. So welcome to Malathi, and anybody else who's watching us as well. Please do let us know you're here. I forgot to put my little note up saying good morning. Welcome to the program. But do share that you're here with us and where you're from. That'd be lovely. Felicity, share a little about how you got into the personal fitness, well, the massage, the whole thing. How did it come about for you?
Well, I started in massage therapy, and from there, once I learnt how our body was so amazingly put together and how everything just worked together and worked for one another, and to help each system helps each other, you know, to survive. And that's our main job for our body, is to survive. So from my massage therapy, I moved to the United States, and that's where I got into personal training, and very blessed to learn from some great people over there, and just the importance of healthy living and exercise. And I had always been very physical, but never had a structured routine as far as a workout routine. So I actually started a routine in working out, and now it's a part of my everyday life, and I can't imagine not going to the gym. But in saying that, I also, you know, I do long walks, I do different types of exercise, so it's not just gym work. But yes, predominantly my exercising is weightlifting and weight-bearing exercises. So, and that has also served me well with as far as the bodybuilding competitions and things like that go. So, yes.
Okay, so was it your belief in all of this that supported you through the breast cancer?
Absolutely. It was the breast cancer was it was really quite an incredible journey, and I really got to understand and learn firsthand how magnificent our bodies are if we just treat them the way that they're intended to be treated. And by saying that, it's good nutrition, and it's getting up and it's moving every day. Now, some of us are very limited in how much we can move, but we can all move, you know, to some degree. And stretching, I think, at some stages, there was times when, you know, I couldn't go to the gym. And so it was about, you know, walks, and it was about stretching and just doing a more gentle exercise than what my body was used to. So yes, through the gym and through the weight training is where I discovered, you know, like, I mean, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that was a huge, it was not expected. I felt completely well, and I had my surgery on the Friday, and I was back at work the following Thursday. And there wasn't a lot that I could do with my right side of my body. That's the side that I had the surgery on. So it did mean a lot of stretching to make sure that I didn't, you know, get too much scar tissue, and to keep that, you know, to keep my upper body moving. I could do a lot with my legs, but I couldn't do a lot with my upper body. So yes, it was a lot of stretching and a lot of gentle movement and a lot of gentle exercise. And, you know, and now I'm 4 years out, and I am, you know, I haven't had a sick day with my breast cancer, and I am very, very fortunate that I could continue to exercise and, you know, live a very normal life through my experience. Yeah. So, but I do give the exercise, you know, a lot of credit for me being able to stay so well.
Brilliant. And I think one of the things when we were talking initially was the fact that you'd said that you weren't necessarily so good at the stretches and the movements for the joints. You always thought, oh, no, I'm young enough, I can do this. And it's actually, you've learned for experience the importance of keeping your joints mobile.
Yes, absolutely. And at 43, you know, I am discovering now, because I would go and do a workout, and I wouldn't stretch before and I wouldn't stretch after, always using the excuse that I was time poor and I didn't have time to stretch. And for a long time, I got away with that. And slowly, I didn't get away with that so much anymore. My range of motion is quite limited, and my flexibility has become quite limited. So I've had to really teach myself in the last couple of years how to stretch so that I can get into those movements that, you know, I could once do with ease. So a bit of, just a bit of a heads up for the younger viewers, if we have any today, that stretching from a young age is really, really important. And I can't stress that enough, because it's a lot harder to get that flexibility later on when you don't have it than to, you know, to get that when you're younger and keep that throughout the years. So yes, very important. But yes, I am very, very guilty of not stretching.
But this is what I love about what we share here, is that we're sharing from our own experience. We can share and we can let people know this is how life is. You know, we think we can get away with it, and we're all guilty of it, every single one of us, you know, sort of. And so this is why I'm looking forward to this, because I'm thinking, yes, at 57 my joints could probably do with a little bit more help as well. So brilliant. So if you'd like to share a little, because we might as well go into this, and people can just join in. This is what we'd like people to do. You can come back and revisit this at any time if you want to. But you just share the exercises and join in. I'm going to join in as best I can. So do you want to talk us through what we're going to be doing, if that's right to do, or well, let's just go into them. I'm really going to hand over to you, Felicity.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so what we will do, what I'm going to start with today, is we're going to start with some exercises on the chair. So these exercises are for everybody, but I'm actually targeting people that don't have so much of a a routine, or people that are in front of the computer all day or at a desk all day, even those people, you know, because their hamstrings get so tight from sitting for such long periods, people that are driving trucks, you know, people that sit for long periods during the day, our hamstrings can get really sore, and that in turn will, you know, affect our lower back. So if you have a chair, I encourage you to grab a chair and sit on that. So 2 seconds. I have a chair here. So I'm going to take a seat, and we're going to start from the top, and we're going to work our way down, okay? So just being aware of our neck. So a lot of the times with computer work or stress, we can get a sore neck through our neck and through our upper traps here. So a really good stretch for our neck is just to take your neck and turn to one side, left or right, doesn't matter, and then take your chin to your shoulder, and then bring your head back up and bring it into the center. And then to the other side, we're going to turn, stretch, and bring our chin to our shoulder. Make sure that you don't try and bring your shoulder to your chin, and then back to the center again. Okay, so a lot of the times with this stretch, we'll find that a lot of people will raise their shoulder because their neck is tight. So just make sure that you don't try and bring your shoulder to your chin. Now, we're going to take our chin to our chest. So our chin is going to come straight down to our chest, keeping our shoulders back. Try not to roll your shoulders forward, and then look straight forward again. And then gently, we're going to take our head, we're going to tilt our head back very, very gently, very slowly, and look up towards the ceiling. And then bring our head back to the center again. Very good. So throughout that, you might have experienced some tightness in your neck, and that will give you a really good indication on where you're tight and then which sides we need to concentrate on. So a little bit more advanced movement for that is if we take our palm and sit on our palm, and then we just turn our head slightly and then down, and you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch just by sitting on your palm, and then back to the center again. Sarah, can you feel a little bit more of a stretch by sitting on your palm?
Yeah.
And then same with the other side, we can sit on our palm on the other side and take our head and then stretch it down. Okay, and then back to the center again. Now a little variation for this is we can take our ear to our shoulder. So stay seated on your palm and take the opposite ear to the shoulder. Once again, careful you don't bring your shoulder up. You want to keep your shoulder down, and then just take your ear sitting on the opposite palm and then back up again. Very good. And then we'll take this hand out, and we're going to take this hand, the opposite side, sitting on our palm, taking our ear to our shoulder and stretching through that neck. So what we're doing when we're stretching, we're actually elongating the muscles. So we're lengthening the muscles in our neck. Okay, so another good one for this shoulder neck area is some shoulder shrugs. Okay, so just bring our shoulders to our ears. Okay, and I would say repeat that about 20 times if in a stretching routine. Now these are exercises that if you're sitting in front of the computer, you can just do these exercises as you're sitting there. You know, if your neck feels a little tight, you can just do these throughout the day. Okay, now for our shoulders, we can roll our shoulders back. So starting from a neutral position, bring our shoulders up, roll them back, and then down to the starting position again. Good. And then that's rolling our shoulders backwards, and now roll our shoulders forward. So changing direction and rolling the shoulders forward. And you should feel that in your shoulders and through the center of your back as well. Okay, everybody okay? All right, so we're going to rotate our back. So a lot of the times we'll get tightness through our mid-back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one hand and place it on the opposite knee. And we're going to turn in that direction. And we're going to look over our shoulder. Hold that stretch for about 5 seconds. And then back to the center. And then we're going to take our other hand on our opposite knee. And we're going to stretch. Look behind us. Stretch. And you should feel that stretch. And then back to the center. You should feel that stretch through the center of your back. Could you feel that, like your erectors that go down alongside your spine? It's a really, really good stretch for them. And it's like twisting, and it's twisting that lactic acid out that can, sometimes get caught, and, getting that blood flow going, because the more blood flow we have, then the more our muscles will heal. And, the better our muscles are, the more limber they are, then the better our joints are going to be. So, okay, so that was our back. Now we're going to go to our wrists, because our wrists are a joint as well. So we're going to just get our wrists, and we're going to rotate both of our wrists. And we're going to rotate it for probably about 10 to 20. And then once we get to 10 to 20, we're going to stop, and we're going to rotate back the other way. So it's really important when we're rotating that we rotate one way and then back the other way, okay? And now with our fingers, to stretch our fingers, and this is really good for people with arthritis, to clench your fists as much as you can, and then stretch your hands as hard as you can. So really open those fingers up as much as you possibly can. And then clench your fists again. Clench it as hard as you can. And then open your hands up and stretch those fingers as hard as you can. Okay, so if we have a desktop, so I'm just going to pretend that my palm is a desktop. So by placing your hand on a desktop, okay, and then lifting each finger from that desktop, you will find that you get a really, really good stretch through your fingers, through your palm, and through the top of your hand. So just by stretching each finger, picking one finger up and stretching it at a time off the desk, and then switching it over to the other palm face down on the desk, and then lifting our pinky finger, our ring finger, our middle finger, index finger, and thumb. And then I always go back the other way just to make sure that I've got each finger covered probably once or twice. So that's a really good stretch for, especially if you're on the computer all day, you're writing all day, or if you just suffer with arthritis in our hands. And our hands are the places that are affected first, usually with arthritis. So my mum, if she's watching, that's a really good stretch for you. So, okay. So now we're going to, our knees are another place where a lot of people tend to get a lot of stiffness and soreness in their knees. So sitting in our chair, we're just going to bring our knees up like we're walking. So just nice and gently, just bringing our knees up, raising our knees. And this is also giving our hips a little bit of a stretch as well. Now to stretch a little bit more, we're going to take our hands and place around one knee and bring that knee into your chest. And that just gets a little bit more blood flow happening. Once you let it go, you'll feel that the blood will come into that knee joint or around the knee joint and really just flood that area. You should feel some warmth in there. And then we're going to go the opposite knee. Good. These stretches, we're just going to hold for 5 to 10 seconds, whatever is comfortable for you. And then place that back down again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pick our knee up and we're going to take our foot forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, for probably 8 on each side, okay? And then the other side, forward and back, forward, back. Right. So we're looking for about 8 on each side. So our knees should be feeling nice and warm now. Okay. All right. So our hips, very, very, very important to stretch our hips because most of us are really tight through our hips, which causes a lot of back pain as well. So a really good stretch that I've found for my hips has been take one leg and we're going to place that on our opposite knee. All right. So we're sitting like this. Our ankle is on top of our knee, and then the more that we can get this knee down, if we just push slightly, don't bounce, but just push slightly on that knee, and then we'll feel that stretch through our hip, okay? So by sitting up nice and tall, so sit up tall and take a nice deep breath in, and then bring your chest down to your leg and exhale as you come out. Try not to round your back. Keep your back nice and flat. So I'm going to turn on my side so you can see what I mean. So we're sitting up nice and tall, okay? And then as we stretch, we breathe out, and then we're going to keep our back nice and straight. Try not to round your back. Keep your back nice and straight, and you'll feel that stretch more through your glute. So we're feeling it more through our buttocks. So, and then that is stretching through our hip. So this stretch is great for this whole area. Now, while we've got our knee, our ankle up on our knee, we're actually going to rotate our ankle as well. So once you've stretched through your hip, then we're going to rotate our ankle one way. And then, like I said before, when we rotate, we always rotate back the other way. Excellent. All right. And then we, once again, once we stretch one side, then we have to stretch the other. So always try and stay in balance. Okay. Nice and tall. Nice breath in. And then as we come down, we exhale, bringing our chest down to our leg, keeping our back nice and flat. Excellent job. Good. Awesome. And sit straight back up again. Once again, we're going to rotate our ankle and back the other way. Excellent. Okay, now I'm not too sure. You probably can't see my feet, so let me just move this a little bit for you. Okay, so another good stretch for our ankles is we're going to just place our feet on the floor, and then we're going to pick our toes up and then pick our heels up. Pick our toes up, pick our heels up, and we're just going to rock back and forth like that for 5 to 8 repetitions. And then that not just stretches your ankle, but it will also stretch down through your calf muscles, so the backs of your legs, and it'll also stretch along your shins as well. So, and that can get quite tight for a lot of people. Okay, so that concludes our stretching in our chair for now. And one thing that I want to just talk a little bit about the importance of stretching. A lot of people don't have workout routines, and that's okay. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, weightlifter to be able to stretch. Anybody can do this at any time, and you can start at any age. But I can't stress the importance of stretching enough. So if you don't have a workout routine, that's okay. We can go on, and I can show you some more dynamic stretches, which will increase the body temperature a little bit, which might help if maybe you want to lose a little bit of weight, or you just want to do something a little bit more strenuous than those stretches. and that will give you a little bit more exercise. So we're going to get rid of our chair for now, okay? Okay, so our first dynamic stretch, and this is going to be an arm swing. So we're going to start with our arms by our side, and we're going to lift our arms up and just rotate them around. Good. 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, 1 more, 8. Excellent. So that's an arm swing. So you should start to feel yourself getting a little bit warmer now, okay? So now we're going to do a side bend. So we're going to stretch along our sides and our hips. So standing with our feet about hip width apart, okay? Our hands by our side. And then we're just going to reach our right hand down to our right knee, okay? Stretch down, right hand to our right knee, back up, and then our left hand to our left knee. Good. Up, and then back over to the other side. So this is really stretching our muscles through our trunk area, through our core. So it's stretching our back, our erectors, and it's stretching through our abdominal muscles as well. So now what we're going to try and do is we're going to do a half squat, okay? If you can do a full squat, but a half squat is a really great place to start. So once again, you can take your feet about hip width, a little bit wider than hip width if you're more comfortable with that. And we're going to turn our toes out slightly, okay? Bring our hands out in front of us for a little bit more of balance. And what we're going to do is we're going to just sit down like we're sitting into a chair and then stand straight back up again. Excellent job. So sit down like we're sitting in a chair, straight back up. When we do that, we're going to really try and keep our chest nice and tall and then sit back up and pushing our knees out. With every time we come down, we're pushing our knees out and trying to keep our knees behind our toes. So that's a half squat. So that's going to help. What a squat does, a squat helps with our hip area, with our buttocks, and it just helps get that blood flow. Like I said, the more blood flow we have, the more healing we have. So now if you have your chair nice and handy, if you grab the back of your chair, or you can grab hold of the wall if you want to just hold on to the wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a leg swing. So by starting, holding onto the chair, picking our leg up, and we're just going to swing it back and forth. Back and forth. For a count of anywhere between 10 and 15. And you can see with these type of stretches that these are called dynamic stretches, and they're really getting the core temperature up. Okay, and relax. And then we're just going to turn around and swing the other leg. Perfect. If you feel like you can't get your leg too far up, that's okay. A nice gentle swing like this is a great place to start. And then eventually you'll be able to get your leg higher. All right, excellent. Okay, so I have 2 more stretches that I want to go over with you. These 2 stretches need equipment. And this one, this is not, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a stretch, but I have suffered a shoulder injury. And I have found that different things, like not necessarily weightlifting, but vacuuming, sometimes washing the dishes, maybe that's just a reason to get out of washing the dishes, I'm not sure. But sometimes I do get a pain in this shoulder. So when I'm lifting weights, it really hurts, but it can hurt with very, very simple exercises as well. So I've found that if I get a tennis ball and I place that tennis ball on my shoulder joint, and then I stand against the wall, and so basically the wall's here and the ball is in my shoulder, and I get my shoulder and I rotate it around on the ball. So, and that will get in, and it seems to really stretch my shoulder out really well, and it crosses over ligaments as well. So ligaments aren't meant to stretch. We don't want our ligaments too stretchy because they are what holds the joint in place as well as the muscles. But if we can get the blood flow back into the joints around the muscles, then we can get healing. And I've found that I've had it x-rayed and ultrasounded and they can't find anything wrong with it. But I've found by using this ball on a daily basis that it's really, really, really helped my shoulder. So now I just do that every day, whether I'm doing, you know, shoulder exercises or not. And I've found that by using this ball with my shoulder every day has really, really helped to relieve the pain from it 100%. So a simple little tennis ball or a cricket ball, something that's hard that you can put in there, and it costs nothing. Like, I mean, I would go here first before we try surgeries or anything like that. So just a little tip if you've got some sore shoulders. Now, what I have here is just a scarf. I've used extension cords. I've used all sorts of things to do this stretch. And what we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. I'm going to put this down so I can demonstrate properly. But hamstrings are so very important to stretch because we all at some stage suffer with lower back. Often play a big, big role in that. So this is a very simple stretch, and you'll feel it in your hamstring when you are stretching it. So one thing I really would like to just say here is that when you're stretching, there is a slight level of discomfort that is okay to feel. Don't ever stretch beyond that. So we are going to get a slight level of discomfort, but it never wants to be painful. So stretching is never painful. It really does feel good. So, and then when you stop, it feels even better because that blood's getting in there. So we're going to lay on our back, and we're going to get our scarf or whatever it is that we have, and we're going to just stick it underneath our foot. The leg on the floor is going to stay straight, and we're going to straighten this leg. So I'm stretching my hamstring right now, which is the back of the leg, okay? Now, if it's too much, you can lower it down. If you need more, then you can bring it up. But really be mindful that that leg on the floor is staying on the floor. So if that leg comes up off the floor, then you're not getting as good a stretch in the hamstring as what you would if it was on the floor. So keep that leg on the floor and just hold that stretch there for as long as you'd like to hold it. Sometimes I can just lay here for 15 to 20 seconds and just relax and breathe. Don't forget to breathe throughout the stretches because that's also really good for our emotional well-being. And just hold that stretch. Once again, where we stretch one side, we always stretch the other side. So just stretching through that hamstring, nice and gentle, and breathe through the stretch, and then let it down gently. And then that's stretching.
But Felicity, that's brilliant. I joined in with all but the ball and that one. but those I can come back to. No,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Malathi has been quite vocal, bless her. After you've done the first series, she said, "I feel so good." So
Oh,
that's brilliant.
fantastic. That's great.
And then she says, "Why do I yawn and get tears?"
Oh, that's really interesting. Well, a lot of the time when we're yawning, we're oxygen deficient. So if she can concentrate, if stretching is going to be something that we do on a regular basis, even if you don't stretch, getting up 3 or 4 times a day from our chair or wherever we are and moving around, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and repeating that 8 to 10 times. And I would imagine that her yawning will subside a lot, because her body is now oxygenated. When our body is oxygen depleted, then we tend to yawn a lot, and that I think if she could concentrate on more mindful breathing, then she would find that she wouldn't be yawning. And when we yawn, a lot of the times, it's a stress on our face. So yes, we do tend to, our tear ducts do tend to work when our face is, when we've got that stress on our face. So perhaps if she can just be more mindful of her breathing throughout the day, she won't yawn as much as what she has done in the past. Try that, and if it doesn't work, then I'm happy to help her any other way I can.
And I think with the exercise aspect, it's obviously making sure that you breathe while you're exercising, because if you're concentrating on trying to do the movement, you forget to breathe. So it's all of us getting into that habit of, right, yes, we need to concentrate on what we're doing until we get into a habit, but we also need to bring the concentration to the breathing as well.
Absolutely. And breathing is so very important for so many aspects of our life. And, even when we're stressed, a lot of the times we get stressed and we really slow our breathing down to, and a lot of people when they're stressed or they're tense, they forget to breathe. But if we can always remember to breathe through whatever circumstances we're in, whether we're exercising, stretching, or whether we're just under stress, then the more that you can breathe, the deeper you breathe and the more that you breathe, then the less you have negative thoughts, because we can't have negative thoughts and negative self-talk if we're busy concentrating on our breath. So, and the same thing with our exercising and our stretching. Stretching can be a really great tool for relaxation as well as getting ready to do an exercise. If we're feeling stressed, we can go through a few little, easy stretches, be mindful of our breathing, and then, in 10 minutes, our stress level is lower. So yes, absolutely. Breathing's a segment all on its own. Breathing is so very important for so many things.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that I had to learn with my cancer treatment was breathing, deep breathing, because cancer can't live in an oxygenated body. And so that's a lot where the exercising and the breathing comes into healing for so many different things.
And it is remembering that the breathing oxygenates our blood, and our blood needs to be oxygenated. And Malathi says it's when I did the exercise, but the yawning. And so, yeah, it's exactly. I'd guess she wasn't breathing enough through the exercise,
right,
which caused.
Right. Okay, so
yawning.
She was yawning while she was stretching. Yeah. Makes sense. So yeah, always be mindful of your breath, no matter where you're at, what you're doing. Even if you're just reading a book, it's just, you can sit and you only have to do it for 30 seconds and just be mindful of your breath. And the bigger, the deeper breath that you take, and then expel that energy, and then now our bodies are oxygenated. And now we've got good energy in, bad energy out, good energy in, bad energy out. And if you think of that, then, you know, like, we can't not be healthier, because it's just such a healthy practice to get into.
Yeah, absolutely.
One that we all need to be reminded of, because I do too.
Yes, because we breathe so automatically, we forget that there are times we have to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm guilty as charged. I get, and you know, like, I'll be in a stressful situation and then I think, oh my goodness, I've been holding my breath. So, you know, and just to remember to breathe, because it's so very important for so many things, just for our well-being, you know, and our stress levels. Very, very important. Breathing and stretching.
I was just going to say, breathe and stretch as well. Yeah, absolutely. So Malathi says thank you. Much appreciated. Folks, if there's anything that you want to ask Felicity, we've only got a couple more minutes, and then the program, we're gone for this week. We've only got a couple more minutes, but please, if there's anything you want to share about that, anything you want to ask, please do, because yeah, Felicity is here to answer questions. But what I'm going to say to you, Felicity, is there anything, because I literally have only got what, 3-4 more minutes, is there anything else you'd like to share with folks before we conclude the program, if we don't get any more questions or comments?
Yeah, there's lots that I would love to share with people, and like, we could go on for days, because I've always seemed like I've got lots to share with people. But one thing that I have learned in my journey is that you are just never too old. And it's, you know, so many times people can think, oh yeah, but I'm past that. Oh, but I can't do that. And if you can just do something each day, set yourself a goal and do just one small thing each day to that goal, and over a period of time, then you turn around and you're so far away from where you thought that, you know, from where you started, and then you're over here, and all of a sudden you've achieved that. And throughout my life, you know, I am somebody that, and I am a work in progress as far as, you know, living positively and making sure that I step out of my comfort zone and do things that I didn't think that I could do. And every time I prove to myself that I can, and I am no different to anybody else. So anybody else that's out there, that's watching, that's thinking that they can't start a exercise program, or they can't start a diet that they want to do, or they can't achieve something, you absolutely can, because you have an amazing, incredible spirit within you, and you can do whatever your heart desires. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and just put one foot in front of the other every single day, and you've got it, because you're just all so very blessed. And I wish that I could give you all a hug, because I'm so thankful for the time that you've taken out to watch this program. It really is something special. And thank you, Sarah, for putting it together. I just really appreciate you you having me on your program. Very blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we've actually got a question from Karen. Karen says, does diet help with stretching?
I don't know that diet helps with stretching, but I know that through a healthy diet, then we feel better about ourselves. So when we eat better, we feel better, and then when we feel better, we want to do more. So I don't know that if you're, by having a good diet, you would stretch better, but I think by having a good diet, then you are more inclined to get up and move and do different things that you probably wouldn't do if your diet was not so good. So that's a great question, and I really appreciate it, because yeah, I don't think that a diet is going to make your stretches better, but I do think a good healthy diet is going to help you to feel better, help you to get out there and do things that you might not have done.
And that makes perfect sense. If you've got the right vitamins and minerals and nutrients, the right amount of sleep and the right amount of exercise, your whole body is going to be much more capable of lasting longer and doing so much more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant. So I hope that has answered your question, Karen. And Malathi says, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Felicity. So thank you. And thank you, Felicity, for joining us this week. Thank you for all the guidance and the support that you have brought to everybody. It's very much appreciated. I know, and some of those I was aware of, but others I certainly wasn't. And the seated, because at the moment, actually, for sleeping in a tent, the clothes stretch is pretty good, because that's what I've been doing the last couple of days, and I will be doing for the rest of this week. It was great to sleep in my own bed last night. So thank you very much indeed. I'm going to be taking some of those definitely with me and doing what I can, and encouraging people to watch the program as well. So thank you, Felicity. Folks, yes, the end for this week. But I hope you'll join us again next week. Next week, we're being joined by Swami Mukti, who is going to be sharing mental weight loss with yoga. So yoga for the mind. I am really looking forward to that. So I hope that you will join us again next week for that program. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Again, a huge thank you to our guest, Felicity Parker. I'm going to be sharing sort of information of how you can contact her under the YouTube video. Hopefully you've got that in the information that came out originally with the link for this, and it'll be up on the website as well for the next week. I'm away, not really internet based for the next couple of days, but please do share whatever, do ask questions. I will make sure anything that comes through to me is forwarded to Felicity, even if it's a bit later than I would like it to be. So thank you, one and all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Felicity, if you'd like to stay there, I'd like to have a little natter afterwards. And I look forward to meeting everybody again next week. Love, peace, and light to you all. Namaste.